to the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network. I'm Jeff Brightwell alongside Michael Wholey from women's basketball at the University of Memphis. And, Coach, the season is upon us as you start the preseason WNIT this week, but you're coming off your lone exhibition game, a win over Rhoades over the weekend. And you never know what's going to happen in an exhibition game. The team's going to look crisp or if they're going to struggle with so many newcomers, but you guys seem to come out and take care of business early.
Yeah, I think, we had scrimmaged earlier in the week, and we've been in practice at this point 3-4 weeks, so we knew there'd be areas that we would struggle with. We knew kind of the strengths and weaknesses of our team at that point, but I thought it was a great showing to kind of get a good crowd out there from Memphis and see all these new faces, and I thought we played hard and gave good effort, and we'll continue to get better every day.
Well, you just jumped out early on Rhoades and put them away by the half. Now, it's a Division III school, and you expect to come out and win, but at any point did you guys kind of look at each other as a coaching staff and say, wow, we look pretty good even though it's an exhibition?
Rhoades had a player that we expected to play that we kind of were preparing for that was a transfer from the University of Tennessee. So when she wasn't dressed for warm-ups, I knew they would have trouble getting the ball over half court. But there were definitely some moments where you saw some stuff that you've been working on and you were happy to see. I think there was about 9 minutes left in the second half when Melissa looked over the bench and said, who let me put 5 freshmen in the game at the same time? But that's what we're going to be. I mean, we got 13 players. We have 8 players that have never played a game for the University of Memphis. I think we started 1 freshman, 2 sophomores, a junior and senior in the first half, and the second half we started 2 freshmen, a sophomore, a junior, and senior. I mean, that's going to be us. We got lots of new faces and lots of people are learning, and we just keep talking about playing hard, giving good effort, and then kind of getting better every day. And we're just going to have to get better at a higher rate than everyone else this season.
I think the fans know Bill Keys pretty well. They know Nicole pretty well. They know Ann Jones a little bit, Laura McGraw a little bit. They played at times last year. Ann started out really hot. She had that injury and never really recovered as far as what we saw when she won Freshman of the Week twice. But it seems like as they got more time in this weekend, they're expected to contribute more this year. They seem to be comfortable.
Yeah, I mean, 5 returners, but really 2 that have played significant minutes. We're talking to Ann and Lauren like they're upperclassmen, even though they're only sophomores and have 1 year of the belt. But that's where the team is at. Ann and Lauren have kind of stepped up into bigger leadership roles. Nicole and Kesey are figuring out those roles with the departures of players like Jasmine and Brittany and Ramses, that they were starters and they were contributors, but maybe they didn't have as large of a role as they will this year. So everybody is just kind of shuffling and growing into new roles and getting a feel for it. You
have KK Harvey that's seen a little bit of time in there as well. As far as the newcomers, how did you feel about them over the weekend?
I like where they're at. I mean, they're going to have – they look at you with blank stares and like this is the longest basketball season they've ever been a part of, and like you're trying to teach them rocket science. But that's just going to be where we're at. You're transitioning from high school to college or from a junior college to college, and Melissa's a in-depth, very well-prepared, complicated offensive coach, and that's not going to change. She's going to do what she's going to do, and you either got to stay with her or you're going to fall behind. So the players that are picking up things quickly are the ones that are probably moving to the forefront right now. The ones that are struggling are the ones that we're trying to spend some extra time off the court, one-on-one, in the film room, sitting down, talking X's and O's so that they can keep up.
We're going to jump right into game action this week. Grambling State comes into town Friday night at the Umberland Fieldhouse. You open up the preseason WNIT, so you get a little tournament action to start off the regular season.
Yeah, definitely a different kind of start to the season. You're very used to knowing who you're going to play game by game by game. So we're preparing for one opponent, and we've begun doing a little advanced preparation for secondary opponents. But Grambling comes into the Fieldhouse to kick off the season, 7 o'clock on Friday, and we're pretty excited. They're kind of similar to us. They got a lot of change going on. They have a new coach. They have lots of new players. We were wrapping up the scouting report this morning, and we don't know who's going to start. They haven't scrimmaged anyone. They haven't played any exhibition games. There's no stats. Their probably best player didn't play last year, was injured. So I think both of us are probably going to go into the game saying, what do we do best? let's work on that, and the best team will prevail.
I know as coaches, you guys like to be prepared as much with pre-game scouting and stuff like that. But is it fun kind of going into the game shooting from the hip? I mean, what's going to happen in that game is going to transpire based on the adjustments you guys make when you start. I
mean, I think that's just the nature of your early games. You're not going to have much film on each other. If you are, you're trying to call up a coach and friend and get a little verbal scout. I always like to be prepared to at least know if you're going to see man or zone, at least know who their 5 starters are going to be. It's just they are where they are. They're doing a good job not putting a lot of information out there. So you just go into practice, instead of talking about Grambling, you're talking about Memphis. And that's probably what it needs to be at this point of the year, is making sure we're getting better and we're doing what we're doing. And when we approach a game, we play our Memphis basketball and make Grambling adjust to us rather than adjusting to them.
Preseason NIT's got 2 brackets, the winner's brackets, the consolation. So being if you win or lose, you might play Sunday against Kennesaw State or Middle Tennessee. If not, then you play, I think it's an entire week before you play again. You look at your quad of that bracket, it's a pretty good bracket. You talk about Middle Tennessee, Kennesaw State's much improved. You got Iowa in that bracket as well.
Yeah, I mean, it's a honor to be invited to the preseason WNIT. They call you up, they select you, they ask you if you want to play. I think Baylor won it last year, so it's not a tournament to be taken lightly. So there's some great teams, as you mentioned, Iowa. I think North Carolina's on the other side. Delaware has been a really good team in the past. But at this point, we're really kind of zeroed in on Grambling, and then we're doing a little bit of advanced preparation for Middle Tennessee and Kennesaw, and then we'll just kind of go from there.
Away from the preseason NIT, talking about the team and the schedule and the season as a whole, got to be some excitement. I mean, you've lost a big core of this team, but with so many newcomers and then a chance for Kesey and Nicole really to shine this year. I've talked to Melissa a couple of times. It's kind of a big question mark. Who's this team going to be? What's the identity of this team?
Absolutely. I mean, we got to see that a little bit the other night and saw some players step up. I think 2 of our freshmen were they were our 2 leading scorers, Mariah and Ariel. I think you see a little bit of the change in the makeup of our roster a little bit. I think you saw over the previous 3 to 4 years a lot of long, athletic players, and I think we're still kind of building that mold, but now you're seeing kids coming from high-level basketball programs where they won championships in their high school teams, nationally ranked. I think we're seeing a little bit more skill, a little bit more basketball IQ, and a little bit more shooting ability. But there's going to be a lot of question marks from now until our last game of the season. We're just going to have to kind of figure that out on the fly.
Do you find that getting so many newcomers, young players, creates an excitement around a team? Because even though you love to have the experienced players, you had a really experienced team last year. By the time those players get to their senior years, it's kind of almost kind of a business thing. You do your practice, do your games. For all these newcomers, especially the freshmen, it's all new. The bright lights are on, and it's new, and it's exciting.
Oh, everything that we do every day is new to them. I mean, this is how we do a scouting report. This is how we watch tape. Heck, the other day we went in and we drew up basketball diagrams, and we said, do you know a squiggly line means a dribble and a dotted line means a pass? So we do the same thing on the academic side when they come in and getting ready for classes. You just got to kind of get a sense of where everybody's at, and then just kind of work with them from there. And then, on the other side of it is the upperclassmen. Nicole and Kesey do know what we're about and how we operate every day, so you need to make sure you're still challenging them and they're improving, because they can kind of get into coast mode because they are 3 and 4 years in advance of these players. So we're trying to find ways to challenge them every day, because those are going to be our better players. And if they're not getting better every day, then our team's not getting as good as they need to be.
Well, as far as the schedule goes, it's another exciting one with the preseason NIT. You got Illinois and Missouri on the schedule, a trip to Seton Hall. So non-conference will be a lot of fun, then you'll jump right into CUSA play.
Absolutely. I mean, another challenging non-conference schedule. The WNIT will start it off. We'll play 3 or 4 games in that. We have some BCS teams that we've played in the past that we'll see again, some new teams on the schedule, some local regional games. We're excited to bring Nicole Dixon back close to home. Mm-hmm. We always try to do that for our upperclassmen. So I think we were picked 5th in Conference USA. So we'll start right off with the NIT, and then we'll kind of start making our way through the non-conference schedule, and probably before we know it, we'll be in CUSA play, and it'll be 2013.
There you go. Coach, congratulations on the win. Good luck this season.
Thanks, Jeff. Appreciate it.
That is Michael Wholey with women's basketball. I'm Jeff Brightwell for the Wolfchase Toyota Insider on the Memphis Tiger Network.